Hi, welcome to Questions and Answers with the Fertility Godmother. I am Denise Noyer-Erez, and I'm excited to be here today to answer some of your questions for National Infertility Awareness Week. So we are going to begin with really talking a little bit about diet and supplements. I tried to organize them as much as I could. So today is diet and supplements. So if you are wondering what you should be eating to help you try to get pregnant and what supplements you could be on, I'm going to talk to you about that right now. So let's unpack. All right. So one of the questions I get a lot of questions about diet. I know there's so much mixed information out there about what you should be eating, how much you should be eating, what to avoid, and it can get really overwhelming. And honestly, I don't know. You just really need to learn your body. And sometimes you need help, somebody to guide you to help you learn about that. But it's so important for you to recognize how food makes you feel and realizing when you're eating and why you're eating. Are you hungry? Are you eating for emotion? Because if you eat, it really suppresses emotions, that emotional eating. What's going on for you when you're eating and the types of food that you're eating. So to make a general statement, there's a few questions that can probably bring me a little bit more into detail, but to make a general statement, vegetables, eating 8 to 10 servings of vegetables every day is going to make a huge impact on your overall health, which will directly impact your fertility, both for men and women. It affects your sperm, it affects your eggs. And the reason is having a lot of vegetables is where we get all our micronutrients, where we get the nutrition, the phytoestrogens, the antioxidants. And these are all things that help oxygenate our cells, that help protect our cells from damage, that help circulation, help energize. So it's really important. Vegetables are so important. And if you're somebody who's not used to eating vegetables, then you're going to start slow and incorporate them into your diet. I always say just make progress, not perfection. We want to cultivate a progress, not perfection. And the goal is to get up to 8 to 10 servings most days. And if you're somebody who doesn't eat them, then supplement. There's pills that you can take that have vegetables in them. There's powders you can take. I drink a powder every day, actually, and I eat a lot of vegetables. Sometimes I'll take it twice if I'm having one of those days where vegetables aren't around, or maybe I didn't feel like eating them that day, I'll drink them. But you really want to eat your vegetables as much as possible. They have so many nutrition, fiber, all those things in them. They make a big difference. So if I was going to say one thing for you to do, it would be lots and lots of vegetables. So it was no joke to say eat your vegetables on your plate when your mom used to tell you that. My mom used to tell me that all the time. Anyways, so that's something that's really, really important for you to do for fertility, for general health. I think they go hand in hand. So the other question another question I have is, what do you think about a ketogenic diet and trying to get pregnant? So again, it goes back to really knowing your body. I think for some people it works really well. And for others, I think it may not, it doesn't work. For example, I don't do good on a ketogenic diet. I do better on a paleo diet. So I've really learned my body. I'm going to just share with you a little bit about myself, and you can kind of look at it as if your own life. Okay, so and try these things on. So I know for me, I can absolutely not have sugar in the morning, for example. As good and tempting as they look, especially when I go out to a restaurant for breakfast and they have all these amazing sweets and the smells, I know that if I have it, my day is gone. I'm going to crash. So I don't even go there. But I allow myself to have sweets in the afternoon or even after dinner because I'm okay. And I can have a little bit, and I can allow myself to indulge periodically when I want to just enjoy and have some fun, because it is fun, right? It is fun to have some sweets. So at least I think so. And if you don't, amazing. You're far, far further along and in a better place than I am. But that's how I work. So learn what feels good for you. So another thing is dairy. I cannot have dairy in the morning. I can have a little dairy in my coffee, but if I have too much, my head gets so cloudy and heavy. So those are some things that happen for me. And I just want you, I'm sharing that with you so you can take a look at your life and take these examples and really dissect what goes on with the foods that you eat so you can learn your body and know what feels good and what doesn't feel good for you. And there are some general rules. I mean, we know you can't just eat a bunch of junk food, even if you happen to be one of those rare people. Actually, met somebody a couple weeks ago who just ate chips and junk food, but she really wasn't as energetic as she led up to be once we got down into it. But if you don't have that impact, there will be a point where you do. So it's important to always pay attention. And I mean, like I was saying, there's some specific rules that are going to be really important for you to have a healthy lifestyle. And having a lot of vegetables is definitely one. Eliminating or minimizing sugar. As Americans, we eat way more sugar than the rest of the world. My family was in Croatia over the summer, and my kids ordered some lemonade, and it was lemon water. They don't have lemonade there. So, it's just as a silly example, but we don't need as much sugar as we have, and we just train our body is very adaptable. And even though it's adaptable, it doesn't mean that it's good for our body. It just means that it's constantly trying to adapt and bring us back into balance. So say, for example, you eat a lot of sugar and you feel like your body can handle it. Your body has to work really, really hard on trying to get that sugar in the right places and get it out of your body. And has to work really hard, and it causes a lot of chaos and hormonal imbalances that if you were to not have that, your body would be able to adjust. So if you're somebody who really likes a lot of sugar or needs that pick-me-up in the afternoon, you might want to consider doing my fertility cleanse, my Prepare for Pregnancy fertility cleanse, because it's a really safe way to get your body in a healthy state, reset it so that you don't feel like you need all that sugar. Or just stop the sugar. Do what's it called, that Whole30. That's another great way to kind of just allow your body to get in sync. And you'll see once you stop for a few days, you go back to having it, you don't need as much. You can build back up again, because our body's always adjusting. But you obviously want to try to avoid that. You want to stay in that healthy zone. So kind of like you want to kind of like zig and zag, but stay in this, like, within the river, right? We don't want to overflow too much. We want to stay balanced and allow ourselves to enjoy, but within moderation. So moderation is always the key. And if you look at things, that's how it works. So basically, lots of vegetables, I think, and the ketogenic diet, it can work for some people, but again, it has to be good for you. I've noticed that some of the heavier PCOS women, a ketogenic diet can work really well. But I've also noticed that a lot of people who do something like that, they end up kind of doing a binge. So I don't know if that's the best thing for you. I think staying in moderation is the best, in my opinion. Paleo diet, I really like. Again, it's going to be low on grains, and you have a lot more vegetables. You can have fruits. I think those are really, really important. What do I really have to eliminate carbs from my diet? So no, you don't have to, but it's like really about what type of carbs are you having. You don't want to be having refined carbohydrates. So refined carbohydrates are like the white rices and the pastas and anything white, chips, cookies, cakes, those types of things you really want to keep on a minimum. And because that just, first of all, it's bleached and it causes, insulin, it causes a lot of chaos in our body. But if you had like whole grains, even if it was flour, like a whole grain bread, then you're getting the fiber in there, so you don't get that insulin spike. You get you get the nutrition of that. So you will, if you do really love bread, then just get good quality. Just get good quality bread. Quality is going to be key as you're in all your foods, even the meats that you eat. You really want to get quality meat. So and doing the best you can on trying to do that. And I usually do like an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I'm going to choose really healthy, and I'm going to allow myself to binge and have a little piece of cake. I don't need much for myself, but I've been doing this a really long time. And so you got to figure out again what's going to be best for you and where you feel that you succeed and that you're not failing. So you want to set yourself up for success. You want to take little steps and move forward and do what's going to work best for you. Let's see, what else do I have here? Does being overweight impact my fertility? So yes, honestly, being overweight and being underweight can have a huge impact on your chances of getting pregnant. So being overweight, it's going to depend how overweight you are. But even if you lose 5 or 10 pounds, it's going to make a big difference for you. And if you are overweight, you want to just maybe you need to lose 30 pounds or 50 pounds. Don't start thinking about, I have to lose the 50 pounds. Start with little goals that you can accomplish. And then all of a sudden, in 6 months, you're going to be at the weight that you want to be. You're going to feel so good and so empowered. But you have to do it in steps, again, where you succeed. So set yourself up for success. We tend to want everything like right now or yesterday, and when we get frustrated and we put these expectations on ourselves, but that's not really how things work. So the people that are most successful they take baby steps, and they do a little bit at a time. They set themselves up for success, and you keep moving forward. And if you fall off, you just get back on and keep moving forward. Don't allow yourself, make that decision and commit. Okay, and I know that if you want to have a baby, then you are probably one of the most committed people on this planet, right? Because you want to do everything it takes to have a healthy baby. So yes, if it is recommended that you lose weight, and there are things that you can do, but again, set yourself up for success. And again, 5 or 10 pounds can make a huge difference. And if you're underweight, again, 3 to 5, maybe 10 pounds at the most, I don't know. Usually I stick with, the people that I've seen usually just need a couple pounds, 3 to 5 pounds. And I know you're probably really small if you're underweight, and that sounds like a lot for you. But if you want to make a baby, you got to have some cushion and some fat to make all the hormones and give some energy. So it's actually quite important for that. What's that here? Can I exercise when I'm trying to conceive? There's so much conflicting information. I know there is a lot of conflicting information out there. So I think absolutely you can exercise while you're trying to conceive. There's a few exercises that you probably don't want to do after ovulation, or you can't exercise if you're stimulating, because your ovaries are producing way more follicles and they're getting too heavy, and you can cause a big problem there. But as far as before you start stimulating medications, if you're doing IVF, or any time, if you're trying naturally, absolutely. Exercise is so important. It releases stress. It increases circulation. It increases oxygenation. It releases happy hormones. Exercise is amazing. If you're trying to conceive, maybe you don't want to be training for a marathon at that time, or like the Ironman, but you can absolutely, enjoy some exercise, even if it's strenuous. You want to do that HIIT exercise. Those are great. Yoga is amazing too. Yoga is one of the few rejuvenating exercises, because it really allows you to go in and rejuvenate. And flexibility is actually really important, not only in our life. I think of flexibility for me, I think of it as like being flexible emotionally too, right? Not so rigid. But our muscles, if we're flexible, we're going to have more blood flow. So stretching and yoga are really great. And I always look at those yogis, and they're always so young, right? Because they're flexible. And when we get older, we get more tight and rigid. So flexibility yoga is a wonderful, wonderful thing for you to do. What supplements do you recommend? Well, that's a tricky one too, without knowing your specific case. So I don't know why, but I've been seeing a lot of women who are not on a prenatal vitamin, and you want to be on a good prenatal vitamin if you want to have a baby, and you want to be on a good prenatal vitamin for at least 3 months, and it can take longer. Vitamin D, make sure you have good levels of vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and fish oil, a high quality fish oil. So those are going to be your basics. Now, when we're getting into like egg quality, where you can cytozyme. Oh, that's my one I have here. It's not a common one you can get over the counter. What was I going to say? Coenzyme Q10 can be really good. Melatonin can be good, but you have to be careful with melatonin, and you just need a small amount. But be careful with melatonin, because if you start taking too much, your body won't produce it. But it can be helpful. And acetylcysteine is a really great supplementation. But again, that's really like by case individual treatment. So I'd have to really know what's going on for you. But in general, that's what I would stick to the basics. At least you want to be on a good prenatal vitamin. You want to be on a good high quality fish oil that gets tested and doesn't have mercury in it. Okay, really, really important. And you want to be on vitamin D. Most of us are very deficient in vitamin D, and vitamin D is so, so important. Okay, what else was there? There was one more question. How can a fertility diet help me get pregnant? Well, I think I kind of touched on that in the beginnings, but I'll just wrap it up with that. The fertility diet is really eating healthy, and there are certain foods you want to focus on. So like more greens, or maybe some bone broth, blood nourishing foods to build blood. Maybe you want to focus on, I already mentioned how important vegetables are, but another reason why the vegetables are so important is, I don't know if you've heard of like this alkaline acid environment. So there's vegetables have more of an alkaline environment, and our cells function better in an alkaline environment versus an acidic environment. And vegetables are going to be really big on that. But I believe that we do need animal protein, and animal protein would be considered acidic. So again, lots of heavy vegetables, and you're going to balance everything out, and you're going to be good to go. But think of things that nourish your body, nourish your blood, because when you get pregnant, you know, that baby is going to suck everything out of you, and you have to have the foundation. So in Chinese medicine, we say you have to nourish the soil before you plant the seed. And it makes sense, because that the soil, our uterus is going, and even our eggs, right? The blood's going to nourish our eggs, which is our seeds. That's going to, they already have that genetic coding in them, and we need to create that environment so that it can grow and flourish, and we can have a healthy baby. So I hope you found that really helpful. I'll see you tomorrow for the Q&A number 2 during National Infertility Awareness Week. Here's to your health, happiness, and fertility. And you can feel free to download my the ultimate guide for fertility diet. And if you would like a little bit more information, detailed information about the types of foods that you can eat. All right, I'm here for you if you need me, and have a beautiful day. Make it a great week. Bye.